Some people are happy with whatever they've got.
Cheers.
Others always look for more.
The green or the blue?
But for a greedy few,
I'm warning you.
the world is not enough.
Get out of my house.
Can you pass me the wrench out of the box?
Up-and-coming officer, 29-year-old Corey Voss, is as dedicated to his young family as he is to the Navy.
He was a very good father. Neighbors and friends would see him outside playing with his kids all the time.
Okay, you kids, dinner.
5 more minutes.
Listen to your mother. Go on.
In 2006, he's building a good life in Newport News, Virginia, with bubbly wife, 30-year-old Katerina, Kat Voss.
Neighbors, friends all say, wow, what a great couple. You know, they're living the American dream. Corey is this consummate, great husband. He gives her this wonderful suburban life.
I wish you didn't have to go.
I don't want you moping around while I'm not here. Go ahead and have some fun.
But life as a Navy wife
Be no fun without you.
has its downside. When her husband is deployed at sea, Kat's left home alone. And Kat doesn't like being alone.
She always had an overwhelming desire for attention. She was always trying to be noticed.
From the time Kat was a teenager, she always had a boyfriend or a husband.
When there's not a man around in her life, Kat needs to find one.
All right, that's enough. Get to bed now. I told you.
Sometimes she would drug her children so that they would be asleep. She would leave them alone and go out, party, drink, bring home a guy.
You know, when Corey went out to sea, it was party time.
Corey is unaware of Kat's cheating, but he knows all about her other vice. She's a shopaholic.
Okay, the green or the blue?
Kat, we missed the mortgage payment.
The blue really makes my eyes pop, don't you think?
People can become addicted to many things. Spending is one of them.
Babe, you gotta stop spending.
I never spend anything.
I think she saw money as an avenue to get the attention that she craved.
Kat bought fancy clothes, expensive jewelry, and it didn't matter that her husband couldn't pay the bills.
It's got to stop.
It will. I promise.
For Kat, nothing was ever enough. She'd always want more, more, more. Ultimately, someone like this implodes.
In Charlotte, Tennessee in 1971, factory worker Ada Evans is also hard to satisfy.
What are you reading?
My favorite column.
She's twice married at 27, but Ada's not giving up on love.
Growing up, her parents were not wealthy,
I want a man to support me.
and I think Ada wanted nice things.
Someone like Bill.
43-year-old William Hayes ticks all Ada's boxes.
He was an established gentleman, very handsome.
William falls instantly under Ada's spell, and they begin a secret office romance.
She did something that attracted him to her, and in a mesmerizing way.
When you gonna make an honest woman out of me, Bill?
William is already married.
I'll tell her tonight.
But Ada soon sees off his wife and children.
What do you want? Stay away from Bill. He's mine now. How dare you? He's my husband. I'm warning you.
Ada and Daddy got married fairly quickly, within 6 months of Daddy's divorce.
Despite the divorce, William's daughter Jeanette has happy memories of spending holidays with her dad and Ada.
She was always smiling and easygoing.
Brother Johnny agrees Ada was good for their dad.
He seemed to be happy and content with her.
But the happy family image is suddenly shattered.
Oh, are you okay? Dad.
William is struck down by a mystery illness.
William became violently ill. He had horrible, crampy abdominal pain, cramps that doubled him over.
Also in critical condition is the marriage of Kat and Corey Voss. While Naval Officer Corey is away, Kat can't help but play.
What are you looking at?
You.
Corey goes out on a 6-month leave.
Such a cheeky girl.
So she meets this dude named Michael Draven.
Why do you have to go?
I'm a busy man. I got things to do.
26-year-old Michael isn't rich,
By myself.
but he is easily influenced. And that's just what Kat is looking for.
She saw him as an opportunity. He was a person who was manipulated by Kat Voss. She controlled him, and she knew how to control him.
When's her husband coming home?
I hope never.
Kat portrays Corey as violent and abusive.
What do you mean?
He's a monster.
Does he hate you?
Yeah. And the children.
She begins working on Michael, saying, Corey is abusive, he beats me, he hits the children. She wants to build up Corey and demonize him into this monster.
I'm gonna take care of you.
A Navy salary only goes so far. A Navy pension is forever.
He had a $400,000 life insurance policy, and Kat would have guaranteed income from his military pay as long as the children needed it.
A Navy payout would give Kat the life of luxury she craves. All she needs is a dead husband. And that's what bad boy lovers are for.
Kat was able to convince Michael, but they didn't want to actually do the deed themselves. So Michael went looking for a killer.
Hey, David.
Hey, I'm Kat.
36-year-old David Runyon knows guns, and he's willing to do anything for money.
David Runyon grew up in a military family. He never could hold a job. Every job that he had didn't last very long.
They had set a price tag of $20,000. They basically recruited him to be the hitman.
And what we were thinking is that we would send my husband out here around 11 p.m. on Tuesday.
Kat doesn't leave anything to chance. She plans every last detail.
They draw a little map, directions to the house, you know, the times that Corey's around, he's not around.
Gloves, boots, military-style pants, black hoodie.
They even provide David with a shopping list of what he needs, including the gun. Basically, they give this guy a blueprint for murder.
On April 29th, 2007, Kat puts her plan into action. She prepares a romantic home-cooked meal, Corey's Last Supper. After dinner, she asks him to run an errand.
Babe, I'll do this. I need you to do me a favor.
Sure.
I need you to get me some cash for the kids' school lunches tomorrow.
Can you run to the ATM and get me some cash?
I'll make it worth your while.
Okay.
Sure. Corey's feeling good. Romantic dinner. His wife is loving him. No problem. Jumps in his car, heads to the ATM.
Hello?
Hey, he's on his way.
I'm right here, ready to go.
Late at night, when he was at an ATM machine, would look like a botched robbery.
Kat knows full well the account will show insufficient funds.
Hello?
She knew there was only $5 on the card, and he would be there for an extended period of time. So he's standing there for maybe 5 minutes, which is just enough time for David Runyon, dressed in all black, to sneak into Corey's vehicle.
David shot Corey 5 times.
Including fatal shots to the chest and abdomen.
She sacrificed her husband for the desire for money.
From one wife's betrayal to another's devotion. In Tennessee, Ada Hayes stays by William's side when he falls seriously ill.
Oh, are you okay? Dad.
15-year-old Jeanette has never seen her dad so sick, but Ada takes control.
It's a stomach ulcer.
Ada had prepared for him a glass of water, 2 tablets in it, and it would alleviate stomach issues.
It'll make you feel better.
Ada treats William's pain with daily doses of antacid medicine.
You'll be okay, honey. There. Better?
But his condition doesn't improve.
He was getting sicker and sicker.
Over the next 18 months, William's mystery illness gets steadily worse.
Daddy began to lose a lot of weight. He couldn't hold food on his stomach. He was weak.
He got to a point where he couldn't walk.
And that was scary.
Are you okay?
By 1974, doctors are baffled. But it's no mystery to William. He's convinced Ada's to blame.
At the end, he knew she was poisoning him.
He took me by the hand and he looked me in the eyes and he said,
Find out why I got sick. Don't let it happen to you or anyone else, okay?
I want you to find out why I died. You can save someone else's life.
It will be William's dying wish.
Ada was putting a pinch of arsenic in his Alka-Seltzer every morning. Chronic slow arsenic poisoning is a terrible way to die. Ada watched him suffer day after day, month after month, for years.
So my father died.
I'd permanently lost an anchor that I could never get back.
Jeanette is determined to keep her promise to her father.
I think there should be an autopsy.
I did try to fulfill that request. I asked the authorities if they would do an autopsy.
But Ada refuses.
That's ridiculous. There's no need.
She was the next of kin. I was a minor, and I did not have that right at that time to do anything.
She's trying to tell everybody something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong, and nobody listens.
And Ada has another shock for the family.
He wanted to be cremated.
He didn't believe in it.
The family rose up and said, no, that's not going to happen. They're going to bury him.
Arsenic persists in the body for months, even years after the body has been put in the ground. Ada wanted to hide her dirty work.
Ada loses the cremation argument, but wins the battle for William's estate.
None of the children got anything. No personal belongings, nothing when Daddy died.
Getting the money is all that matters. And Katerina Voss gets plenty.
It's French champagne.
By murdering her husband, Corey.
Only a couple of days after Corey is pronounced dead, the benefits from the military come in, $100,000.
To the good life.
And our next vacation.
Oh, yes, you guys should come.
Kat immediately spent that money in a fashion that is hard to describe.
Within 3 months, she only had $900 left.
Living large isn't evidence of murder, but the police are suspicious of her new boyfriend.
Hello.
Hey, babe.
Hey.
Through recorded phone conversations,
You said you and David was talking?
Uh-huh.
You told him what's going on?
Yes, I did. That's right.
the police establish a link to hired killer David Runyon.
We were able to identify an individual by the name of David Runyon that had made contact with both Kat Voss and Michael Draven.
When the police search David's property, they're stunned to find Kat's detailed instructions for the murder.
In the console of his vehicle was this map. Hand scrawled on it was the references to Corey, 97 Ford pickup truck, missing hubcap, tailgate down.
So it's pretty clear cut at this point who killed Corey and who conspired to kill Corey.
In 2009, Michael Draven and David Runyon are convicted of conspiracy, carjacking, and murder. Michael is sentenced to life behind bars. David is sentenced to death. But after an appeal to the federal court, he is currently awaiting a new sentencing hearing.
Kat Voss is absolutely a manipulative person. The only remorse that she has is that she got caught.
Katerina Voss pleads guilty and is sentenced to 4 life terms plus 20 years.
If Kat had not been caught and put in prison for the rest of her life, killing husbands might have become a habit.
It's more than a habit for Ada. Husband hunting is how she earns a living, and she has new blood in her sights.
Ada met John Wittenmeyer and moved to Oklahoma. Mr. Wittenmeyer was a wealthy rancher.
Within weeks of meeting,
Welcome to your new abode.
John and Ada are married.
Sorry, I couldn't carry over the Trish.
Oh, that's all right.
By this time, he's husband number 4, I believe. She has refined her craft and knows how to get what she wants.
Hey, welcome home. How's the honeymoon? Oh, the best.
Great.
John Wittenmeyer would have been a prize catch for her.
But even a life of luxury can't keep Ada satisfied.
Hey, any chance of a coffee?
Should have hired a maid instead of marrying me.
Ada's heart was dark. For whatever reason that she did these things, her heart was dark.
Are you okay?
I'm bored.
After just 3 years of marriage, Ada is ready to move on again.
Mr. Wittenmeyer had a will that Ada forged and left everything to herself in that will. His ranch, his cars, everything, and left his children completely out of it.
Now it's time for John's last meal.
This is a determined Black Widow.
Nice.
Favorite, yeah.
Great.
It staggers the imagination for me.
Are you okay?
No. I gotta lie down.
Ada put so much arsenic in her homemade pea soup that he died within 24 hours of being poisoned. And all the time, she watched him. And she didn't call for help.
She enjoyed watching her husbands die. That is an evil thing. Don't want to watch an innocent man die at your own hands.
John?
But this time, an autopsy is performed.
His stomach still had the contents of the green pea soup, and that green pea soup was full of arsenic.
The results lead police to investigate the death of Ada's previous husband, William Hayes.
My dad's body was exhumed. When they did an autopsy, they found arsenic.
His body was so full of arsenic, it was around the sealed vault, the casket, and the dirt.
The revelation is a painful reminder to Jeanette of the promise she made to her late father.
It happened again because I could not fulfill that request to find out why Dad died. Someone else did die.
In 1982, Ada is convicted of the second-degree murder of John Wittenmeyer and the first-degree murder of William Hayes. She's sentenced to life in prison. But 6 days later, she takes another life, her own.
She tied a bedsheet around her neck and jumped off her bed.
When I was told that Ada committed suicide, I thought, it's over. It's finished.
Something had gone terribly wrong in Ada's life. She enjoyed taking pleasure in her loved one's pain. What kind of a woman is that?
Two's company, three's a crowd.
Don't lie to me.
And in a marriage, it's a recipe for disaster.
People get killed all over the world.
Throw in a pinch of greed, and murder is on the menu. McKinney, Texas, 2014. 65-year-old British businessman Richard Moore
Trust me.
and 31-year-old Texas car salesman Stephen Brockway have almost nothing in common.
It's in a quiet taste.
No way, man. I like my beer icy cold.
Yet they're best buddies.
Steve and Richard were very close friends.
Cheers.
There would be regular Sunday dinners that Stephen would be part of as if he were part of the family.
Come on, let's eat.
Okay.
Richard's wife, Chansamorn, is used to cooking for three.
Chance Morin called Richard and Stephen the two boys whenever they would hang out together.
You know, what are the two boys doing today? Have y'all seen the two boys? Are they getting into some trouble, something like that?
Richard and Chansamorn have been married for 4 years.
Traveled to Thailand quite a bit, and that's where he met Chance Morin.
Their 32-year age difference has never been an issue. But these days, Richard tires easily.
No more. Thanks. Look, kid, it's my bedtime. No, you stay. Nice to him.
Stephen was in his 30s, so he and Chance Moore were about the same age, and the two of them eventually became very close.
Awesome dinner.
One night in 2014, Richard discovers just how close Stephen and Chance Moore have become.
In the middle of the night, when he was getting a glass of water, he noticed that Stephen's car was still out front. So he went poking around and he saw Chance Moore and Stephen in bed together under the sheets, asleep. Richard realized that Chance Moore was having an affair with his best friend.
The next morning, Richard is in no mood for excuses.
Good morning.
You didn't come to bed.
I didn't want to wake you.
Don't lie to me.
Richard was absolutely devastated finding out that Stephen, his best friend, and his wife had been having an affair.
We were talking and fell asleep.
Just don't.
Richard calls for a timeout.
I'm going on holiday. Alone.
As one relationship withers on the vine, in Florida in 2011, another blooms.
That's Daisy and that's Suzu. Oh, they're beautiful.
It's a friendship founded on a shared affliction.
So, would anyone like to share first today?
40-year-old Jacqueline Luongo and 65-year-old Patricia Viviero's bond at their AA meetings.
Jacqueline was always very faithful about attending her Alcoholics Anonymous meetings.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline, and I'm an alcoholic.
She was trying to better herself.
At one day at a time. Hey.
Jacqueline has 2 degrees, but hasn't found financial stability. She seems to have her drinking under control, but not her career. She's tried hospitality, personal training, and now a desk job.
I'll need these as soon as I get back from lunch.
But nothing sticks.
Jacqueline had a good education, but was unable to hold a job. That tells me there was probably a behavioral or mental problem going on. Her intellect was fine.
She kept wanting to change what she wanted to do, which caused her to have financial problems.
Now Jacqueline has a new friend and a sympathetic ear.
Hey there. How's the job going? I'm thinking of killing my boss.
You should quit. Life's too short. Don't worry about the money. We'll sort something out.
Really?
Patricia has troubles of her own. She has an outstanding warrant for a DUI offense. She has a car, but could be arrested if she drives.
These were 2 folks who essentially needed each other.
In June 2014, Jacqueline moves into Patricia's apartment.
I am gonna pay you rent, by the way.
No, that's not the deal.
Patricia let her stay for free, rent-free in her home, and all she had to do was drive her here and there.
You'll earn your keep just chauffeuring me around.
Recently retired, Patricia is only too happy to have the company of a good friend.
Okay, okay.
Weeks after Jacqueline moves in, Patricia has a short stay in the hospital. Jacqueline takes over running the household.
We miss you too, especially China.
Look, I was wondering, is there any mail for me?
No, nothing here. Just a few bills, junk mail. Oh, wait. Here's something.
She discovers Patricia is wealthier than she thought.
She had an insurance policy and was able to collect on this insurance policy.
Oh, it's nothing.
Okay.
Patricia's $50,000 policy allows her to draw monthly checks of $5,000.
Jacqueline saw that here's a $4,000 or $5,000 check coming in, and that's where it all began.
It wasn't a lot of money, but it was a whole lot more than having nothing. And Jacqueline had nothing.
Jacqueline starts cashing Patricia's checks, fully expecting a showdown when Patricia comes home.
You're targeting somebody who's doing you a favor. This woman is letting you live in her home rent-free. What other money do you need from her?
In Texas, when Richard Moore returns home after his solo holiday, it's not to his matrimonial bed.
Richard and Chance Morin were sleeping in separate bedrooms.
Chance Morin continues her affair with her husband's best friend, but suspects Richard is also being unfaithful.
There was no evidence to suggest that he was having an affair.
But in early 2015, tensions in the house explode.
Richard is lying in bed, watching a movie.
You're an animal.
Chance Morin came in and thought he was Skyping some other woman in Thailand.
Who are you talking to?
No one, I'm watching a movie.
And attacked him.
And Chance Morin bit Richard on the arm.
You crazy woman! What are you doing?
It's the final straw for Richard.
It was so bad that it looked like an animal had bitten him. He looked like a shell of a man. He seemed like he had been completely broken.
Chance Morin knows her marriage is headed for divorce.
Chance Morin was really frustrated with her relationship with Richard.
But an ex-husband is worth far less to her than a dead husband.
If I was in Thailand, I'd have him killed.
Chance Morin thought she was going to get Richard's life insurance policy, which was worth about $1 million.
We could be together.
Stephen shows no loyalty to his best friend.
People get killed all over the world.
And he said he knew a guy who could help.
I might know someone.
Stephen reached out to a marijuana dealer that he knew named Ronald Rosser.
Ron Rosser had a checkered past.
He had a DWI. In fact, in one instance, he crashed his car into a fence post and it took out an eye.
Hello, Stephen.
Stephen figured that Ron Rosser might be the person who would commit this murder for him.
Ronald agrees to do the job for $10,000. Richard is an easy target, a creature of habit who follows the same routine every day. February 27th, 2015 is no different.
Everything about his life was set to a routine, so he would have tea in the morning at a certain time.
He'd maybe do some chores around the house, and then mid-morning would go take a shower. He was very regimented in that way.
So Chance Morin can plan Richard's murder with precision. One thing she can't predict: a rare North Texas snowstorm turns the streets of McKinney to ice.
There was a horrible snowstorm up here. We've never seen anything like this before. Schools and businesses completely shut down.
Yet Chance Morin braves the peak of the storm to run a needless errand.
Chance Morin left the house to go to a department store to go pay a bill. There was absolutely no reason that anybody would leave the house on a day like that.
Chance Morin is creating an alibi and giving Ronald the opportunity to enter the house.
Chance Morin left the house that morning around 11 and left the front door unlocked for Rosser to get in.
She stays in constant contact with Stephen.
Stephen was texting with Chance Morin to make sure that she was out of the house so that Rosser would be able to come in.
Ronald knew exactly where to go because Richard lived his life on a schedule, and he went to the master bedroom.
As Richard steps out of the shower,
he pointed a rifle at his face and shot him the first time through his forearm and then struck him in the face. And he was shot an additional 7 or 8 times solely in the head. He stepped over Richard's body, and beyond that bathroom, there's a closet, and the closet has a safe in it.
Ronald's payment has been prearranged.
There was around $10,000 in that safe, and that was going to be Ronald's payment for committing this murder.
The safe haven of a home shattered by a criminal intruder. But the criminal in Patricia Vivieros' Florida home is her invited guest, Jacqueline Luongo.
Don't touch me.
Patricia confronts her about the missing checks.
What's the matter with you?
She was going to get thrown out because she had been caught stealing.
But Jacqueline has a plan to keep Patricia out of the way.
Yes, the police?
Her outstanding DUI warrant.
Please hurry.
She knew there was an outstanding warrant for her.
Jacqueline, why are you doing this? You're going to jail.
She thought if Patricia was incarcerated, she could access her finances easier.
It was no longer her friend. This was $50,000. It wasn't a human being anymore.
But Patricia is only held overnight.
Jacqueline! Jacqueline!
And she's back the next day, angrier than ever. Jacqueline isn't expecting Patricia so soon.
I spent the night in jail because of you.
But she has prepared for her arrival.
Get out of my house. Let go!
Jacqueline planned it out. She bought handcuffs. She bought the duct tape.
She encased her head completely in white duct tape from the chin all the way up to the head. Picture, if you could, being alive while that process is going on. It's pretty gruesome to think about.
It was an immense amount of cruelty.
Patricia is suffocated.
This is how you kill somebody when you want them to suffer. Patricia Vivieros did nothing that made her deserve to have to suffer this way.
And to make matters worse, it wasn't a stranger killing her. It was someone she had been good to.
She hides the body in a closet in Patricia's home.
Jacqueline resumes raiding Patricia's accounts.
I'd like to cash a check, please.
She went out of her way to buy a blonde wig so she could impersonate the victim. She had all of the victim's ID.
Jacqueline got away with impersonating Patricia for a while. There you are. She was able to extract several $1,000s through several checks.
Is there anything else I can help you with today?
That'll be all. Thank you.
Chansamorn Pokai is also doing an impersonation of a grieving widow.
A lot of money is missing. Thousands of dollars.
Immediately, she starts talking about all this money missing from the safe.
Did you have any problems in the relationship?
No, we were very happy.
It would be helpful if we could go through your phone.
Why?
It could help.
Investigators discovered dozens of texts between Chansamorn and Stephen on the day of the murder.
Are you going to be able to leave the house in this bad weather? Yes.
But before they even go looking for Stephen, he turns up at the police station, uninvited.
Stephen brought his own handgun to, he said, rule him out as a suspect.
That's my only gun. I thought you might want to test it.
No, sir. No need for that.
There's just one problem.
The police had not publicly revealed the fact that Richard had been shot.
Can I have a look at your phone, sir?
Investigators found text messages to Ronald the day of the murder, and that started to put the dots together between these three people.
All three are charged with capital murder.
In the state of Texas, it didn't matter if you were the one to pull the trigger, you still get the same charge.
In 2019, Ronald Rosser is found guilty. He is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Stephen Brockway pleads guilty to murder and agrees to testify at Chansamorn's trial.
First, Stephen turned on his best friend, and then he turned on his girlfriend.
He receives a reduced sentence of 28 years. Chansamorn Pokai pleads guilty to murder and is sentenced to 40 years in prison. Chansamorn wanted everything for nothing.
Chansamorn was going to get Richard's condo in Thailand, the home that they owned in McKinney, and the life insurance policy, which was worth about $1 million.
In the end, she got what she paid for.
Chansamorn was cold-blooded, and it didn't seem like she valued Richard's life in any kind of way.
In Florida, Jacqueline Luongo shows a similar disdain for her victim. When Patricia's body starts decomposing, she stays at motels to avoid the smell. Her girlfriend, Maria Calderon, becomes suspicious.
How are you paying for all this?
She was suspicious because Jacqueline all of a sudden had money, large amounts of it, to check into these motels.
She couldn't afford to stay where she was staying. Where was she getting money?
Pat's dead.
What?
She's dead. A hitman. He killed her. He forced me to help.
She said that the victim was involved in a dirty doctor ring and that some Colombian hitman had come by the apartment and killed her.
I had no choice.
And forced Jacqueline Luongo to participate.
She genuinely thinks she's gonna manage to get away with this, and she could tell somebody that she trusts.
Jacqueline misjudged her girlfriend.
At the first opportunity, Maria slips away.
She basically flags down this guy and tells him the story.
Police quickly discover Patricia's body and arrest Jacqueline for murder. Her girlfriend, Maria, will be the prosecution's star witness.
When somebody comes up to you and says, "Here's your killer," it makes a detective's job a little bit easier.
In prison, awaiting trial, Jacqueline does what she does best. Turns on a former friend.
I need to take her out.
Don't look at me.
Jacqueline decides that she's gonna hire a hitman to murder Maria Calderon.
What about you?
I know someone. Won't be cheap, though.
Attempting a contract murder from jail is extremely risky and stupid.
Could set up a meeting.
So tell me about this guy.
She thought she could get away with anything.
For a second time, Jacqueline Luongo plots murder. This time, she won't be getting her own hands dirty.
Is it done?
That's where we actually learned what kind of person she really was.
Jacqueline was so thrilled, she offered to give the hitman a recommendation for future contractors.
But Jacqueline has fallen for an audacious police sting. The contract killing of Maria Calderon is completely staged.
They take Maria out into the Everglades. They fake her death. She is lying down. She's made up to look as if she's been murdered.
Jacqueline's cellmate is a police informer, and the hitman, an undercover cop.
She did believe that Maria was dead. She was thrilled about this.
Along with first-degree murder, Jacqueline now faces a charge of solicitation to commit murder. In 2017, she is sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years.
To just see money and say, I'm willing to kill for that. It's just something that decent people can't wrap their heads around.
Jacqueline Luongo puts herself before everyone else. For a woman who can't hold down a job, money is all that matters.
Jacqueline never showed any remorse or regret for the murder or the attempted murder. But then again, greed is called a deadly sin for a reason.